since Wendell died, I can't recollect nothing.
Really?
I sure can't.
Just hollering around the top went home, and I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I hear that little lady come out and was talking to her, and she said, "Lady, it's in rail." I could hear her, I remember that, and I didn't, and that was who that girl was.
That was Letty.
And that's how little I was, which I'm 61 years old now. You know that's a long time ago.
Now Letty will be 68.
But now I got a good memory or anything like that. But
28th of June's her birthday, ain't it?
Yeah.
and then the last barn mules running about us on the fence right out there.
That was old Jack. You know that they had to get rid of that mule. He did everything.
There was a cattle down there.
Oh, we had an awful lot of cattle ever was. And we would have 100 head of hogs around through here and everything.
We was way up yonder climbing that hill, going up that, I guess South Holler, that did now.
Yeah.
So we could still get them chickens forward.
Yeah.
It's getting late. We swirling it all. We got lost coming out loud. The cat road out there.
Well, you and Si you got lost one time. Me and
We
Carolyn
were
was
lost. We
sitting
just
here.
didn't care.
They had a coon tree right up there at the back of Bruce's house.
That was Si, the father come up.
And me and Carolyn was sitting here and heard them talk. And they disappeared and they went off in Bear Branch. Instead of coming on down here, looked like they could see no more.
Over there in that ivy, you couldn't see nothing up on top. There was so much fog. But I said, now let me tell you something, mister. I've been this way. I've been this rail
So
fence.
I said,
these
he got
rail
lost
fence.
every time
I
he
said,
went
that rail
out.
fence is going toward Dudley's house. Back on the hill. No,
You
I
know
said,
when-
I never was here before in my life. I said, well, I'll take your word for it, but I'll tell you one thing, we're going wrong. And I knew he got around there. I even got around there, got in that power line. And that ivy, I said, no, wait just a minute now, Si. They ain't no ivy on that field side of that where it turns over.
No,
that
they
power
haven't.
line on the J Creek side.
It's on the south side.
We're in Scotch side out there.
You sure?
He said, yeah, I guess we are. I know we are. He said, go back up here, go around the top.
Oh, you know, you were sure one time when Junior Dixon got lost.
Uh-huh.
And Murray had just called up here and said, do you know where June's at? I said he never did come back in, for Sammy never come back in. And while I was talking to her, I seen Sammy coming down the road. I said, Murray, I see Sammy coming down the road. I guess Junior's following her. And he got out there in the yard. He said, Dale, get me something to eat. He got lost and said all night long. He said Sammy laid by him.
Oh, that power line, Miss Griffith range.
Yeah, that's where he got lost.
You showed me where he got lost. I said, well, I could took you out in 3 minutes. Yeah, you tell me.
Oh, he
You
just
should
got
have
turned-
this come down
He
the
just
hall.
got turned around, but he don't coon hunt no more.
He said it was foggy and he didn't know where he's at. And
Oh, did you know where the 3 counties goings up there? That's the best place in the world to get lost.
up on County Rock?
Where the 3 counties goings up there,
That's-
Harlan, Letch, and Prairie.
That's right, the County Rock. I've been on top of
And
it
I went to
since I was a boy.
Elizabeth Griffith's fields one time. Our cows would go over to Elizabeth Griffith's fields.
That's out there in that gap.
Yeah, and I'd have to go to, what was the name of that field?
Sugar Tree Cove.
Sugar Tree Cove. And I was trying to make the cows go down Big Lock. And the cows
You want
outnumbered
to come back in?
and come this way, and we come down the holler up there at Liza's. It was getting dark, and me bringing the cows in.
Brought the cows down to South Holland.
No, it was right straight down the back of Liza's house, down the
Oh,
ceiling.
yeah.
Come out right there at the well there at Liza's.
Boy, I tell you what, man. Them they some of them ridges got the ivy on them yet, ain't they?
They certainly are. But I ain't able to get out in them no more.
Gosh, I was up there on top of that thing once or twice, man. I think Brian was with us. Dogs went hunting, tried to fight all night. And we got in the ivy thing. Had to get down there and crawl, buddy.
Right.
And they was laurel and now this big. I don't know if it's this side of the graveyard on that knob or the other side. Now, I don't believe there's much on the other side.
At Lake's
I think
graveyard.
it's on this.
Was it Lake's graveyard?
Yeah, right about to hit the graveyard holler on this side in that thicket somewhere.
Is that graveyard growed up bad? Somebody
Yeah,
said they was
the
big.
wires growed into the timbers so bad you know, have to chop it out and everything. Might have to cut the trees down.
They said there's big poplars growed up in there.
Yeah, and them grazers sunk all bad.
Hassel went to it.
One time I never up there, I didn't have nothing to work with.
But Hassel said he's going to clean it up, but he never did.
Well, I told Paul Brown and First Point and them boys, and man, I don't know who man Green Point, don't guess he's buried there, but he's Lank's brother. And
I don't think he's buried there.
he's buried at Stony Fork, my
Stony
opinion.
Fork's where he's
But one of them grandboys wanted to work and clean it up. I said, now boys, anytime you get people together, Paul right me in the office, we'll go help you. I told Paul that I'd go help him. His mother's buried there.
Yeah.
And they never did call me, and I ain't able to go over and do it by myself.
Dewey Brown and buried there, what?
No. No, Dewey wasn't buried there. Dewey's wife was murdered
Yeah.
buried there. I don't remember.
She died with TB.
Yeah. One of them did, I know.
It was Dewey's wife. She
But
died.
anyway,
But I'll tell you
and
what.
I don't know where they buried. Where did they bury Funso? Sand Hill, didn't he?
He's buried I thought he was buried on Little Luther.
I don't remember where they
I
took
don't
him,
either where.
but I do
Where
remember.
Fonso was at when he died,
But they brought him in here.
yeah, I
They
know.
put
they
him
did.
somewhere.
But I don't think it took him to Lake. It seemed to me like. Well, I don't know
Thomas's
where
wife.
they buried Florence, Dee's wife,
Lord, I don't know.
because I know it was Easter Sunday and there's a whole crowd here. And me and Janie went over and seen Florence,
Well, now they put her someplace in.
but they never buried her on the graveyard where Carlos is buried.
Well, no, they took, didn't they take her to Little Leatherwood, or?
She died on Little Luther.
They told he did.
He didn't do it. The man died a while back and killed him.
He took the blame for it, I think.
He said he took the blame for it because the man killed him, saved his life, and it was my God, he lived over there. He'd come see Jim Metcalf about Earthy's daddy. What was
Joe?
it? Joe
William?
Williams is the one who killed him.
No, William's still living.
Well, he is.
He's down in London. He got cancer real bad.
I be,
Dorothy goes down there and stays a week with
No,
him.
Dorothy can't.
Helen stays a week with him.
Dorothy-
He had before she got sick, you know.
before she got sick.
Earthy's down there, and
Yeah.
so is Grace,
But they say he's just. Seemed to me like they told me he died.
and Helen. No, he ain't dead. Helen she comes out of Chicago and stays a week with him too. That's
Now
Jim Taylor's wife.
he's the man that killed Harvey.
He was up there, he said. Ben
Uh,
Jane Morgan was up there too, wasn't he?
Yeah. But it was on Easter Sunday when that,
I remember those people,
That
but
Florence
I
died.
was a young man then.
and there's a whole gang here, and somebody answered the telephone, and they said they want Daddy Hall. And he said, I don't know you, and you don't know me. But he said that I milked camels, son, that Florence had the milk, you know. But he said, I wanted to tell you that Mom is dead, and I never got to go over there when Florence is dead. And they took her somewhere else to bury her. He told me where they're taking her, but God, I don't recollect now.
Now, they were some of them camels who used to run around with Lawrence and them boys there. Oh, Floyd's boy. And maybe Bethel and Carlos, I don't know. I was just a young boy then.
I wonder if Dee's daughter at Florence had with Dee, she was in the nursing home at Hazard. And I never did hear where she died or not there.
Well, she could have not heard him,
But now I know that I heard it when Uncle Ben Dixon's boy, her last boy, was in there. That was Dad's sister's child on Turkey Creek. And I heard it on the Hazard News when he died down there.
Well, you know, I used to coon hunt down there where that old log house, you know, Dixon lived in.
Yeah.
And many days ago, I coon hunt all over that lousy place. And that guy, that George Smith's daddy, George is laying a corpse today at the Brasher Funeral Home.
Yeah, I heard that on the news.
Now, I've met his dad a many a time, him and Let's see, it was George Smith and old man Grant Smith, and that other one, Lige.
Yeah.
Lord, Lige has been, I guess he's 90, probably in his 90s when he died. But I met him in the mountains a time or two.
But there's been so many murders and things. Now, when Sherman Griffith was killed, he was killed on top of the mountain. He wasn't killed.
Up here in the holler.
Right straight on the back of the old field, that big rock.
Is that right?
That's where he was killed. And Mom was walking the porch out there with arthritis. And she said, that, hi, I heard Sherman's pistol fire. And she said, I can't cook supper for him. And Dad said, I'll cook supper for him. In a minute, she said, I heard a big rifle fire. And the big rifle's the one got him. And the old man that killed him died a while back in Columbus Square. It was hard to kill him. And Ann and Zion come down here about 11 o'clock today and said, Rainey said she killed Sherman. We heard a whole, Mom was walking porch here. They was 2 or 3 went down with her by here. The road went right down to the creek then. And she thought it was Green Smith that he was expecting, Martha's expecting gold in. He was going over to the cabin to get Miss Thayer.
Well, Green walked right down through here a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, and he'll walk down through here all the time. And they come down here and said, Rainey said she killed Sherman. And Dad said, I want to know why in the hell that you didn't come early and tell me. She said, I might could have saved his life, you know. But Dad had killed anybody over Sherman Griffith.
Now, well, Sherman Griffey, and was he Thomas's Bill?
Sherman wasn't no kin to Bells.
Wasn't he?
No.
Well, the
He was
boys that I
Elizabeth
recollect
Griffith's
now on the Bell, on the Griffey side was one that the lived over behind.
Well, Norman was the last in Elizabeth's child. He was born blind, you know. Norman was.
But one of them, the one I'm thinking about, I was just a boy and he got killed in a coal bank just down from where Billy lived.
That was Belle Smith's brother.
That's what
But
I was
he
thinking.
wasn't the kin to Elizabeth Griffith.
Oh, that's right. I had them mixed up. One now the one that had a big hair lip in his jaw mouth. I remember him just well if it was last night. He got killed in a coal bank just out of where old 50 Main was in Miss Grizzly Branch there.
I know where he got killed. I recollect him getting killed.
And and now Thomas's wife was his brother.
Yeah, Belle over
Yes,
there.
sir.
Belle's still alive, you know, but she's.
Belle must be getting up in years too, ain't she?
No, she's not so old, but she's just been sick for all
Well, she got the way up
of it. And
there,
her
boy.
mind never was good.
I made many myself around that old home place in Big Rock. Gee.
You know, she went to the field one
She
time
knew like
to pull
you
fodder,
50 years
and she pulled fodder, and it got dark, and she never did like get out of the field. Poor old Belle had a bad time. You know, they robbed her over there when.
I never did know when they robbed her.
They
I
robbed her
heard
when
it,
they robbed her when Buell was dead, when he was grounded in the sand quarry.
up on the mountain.
Yeah. Belle come in over there, and she was tore on pieces. It was her sister and her husband had come in and robbed her. And she laid her pistol down, and they got that pistol. And I was over there when Nancy and them come up there and was wanting Belle from down there. And Hen and Melvin Hall took guns and followed her if they was going to do everything to her, that they was going to kill her. That's when she left over there and moved over here where she sold that police out, I guess, or something.
I'd say that I started walking in these woods 50 years ago. You know, I mean, now I was walking right with Si and Johnny Shepherd and them fellers and old man Link over there when I was just a boy. And Si Spartan was going packing in the lantern and him getting so old he couldn't get
You
up.
know, I can't recollect Lane Corny, but Liz, I never would forget Liz.
Lincoln never did get out much, did he? But now them family, our sponsor on them, they stayed there for years after, well, I don't know how long.
Well, now, Florence stayed there with Liz.
Yeah, long time.
But Letty was scared to death of Liz.
I passed that house, and I remember we would run from where that old barn sat until we got down below them cliffs.
They said it was
They
hated.
said there was something here
There
on it,
was all
but
kinds
it was
of hated
water on it
stuff.
all the time. I ever heard that thing, but it did make different sounds. But I think it's water. But
I
it
don't know
could-
what it was. There's so much stuff down there. It's on Joe what it was.
But you
I know
it-
Liza stayed over there with Bert when Florence took Carlos to
Choir countries,
Louisville
wasn't
one
it?
time. Yeah.
No lights, you know, I mean, back in them days, you know, they went up on an old chimney sticking out the top of them old houses
Mhm.
with a little grease light or something sitting on the table or something, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. Pie line or something.
Yeah. Damn. A dog making noise, you know, I think you want a big gang of dogs riding on you, know, you think you was eating up
Me and
full of
Letty
them,
went
you know,
over.
wait, you see them old black dogs.
Me and Letty went over to Dee's one time at Florence
Grab
Temple,
a
and
damn
she had
burn
a
stick.
lot of tape running
Couldn't
sets,
afford to
and
wear
we
the
went
shell.
over there. And Florence and Dee was gone, and Liz was there by herself, and she talked to Simps just a few minutes, you know, sitting in the swing on the porch. And then she said somebody shit in the steel house, and she started laughing and wiping her eyes with her handkerchief, and Letty took off running back up this way. I never got up there, she got almost up, she knew Liz was going to get her. Now Liz wasn't bothering nobody. No, Liz wasn't. I like treated her so dirty, you know, that she lost her mind.
So I took a forky stick and put dirt on Little Miss grave one side over there. It just one end of it way down.
Yeah.
And her needs to go over there with mattocks and shovels, round one shovel and fill those graves back up. I know Jim,
Well, if
old man
Hassel,
Jim's grave back there now, coming around from where Lester lives there on the hill. Last
Yes.
time I was in there, it was awful low too.
Oh,
It's a shame.
Jim's size and kisses, gemstones just fell right across the grave, they said.
Well,
And I'd like to get somebody to put them back up. They double tuning stones. It'd be hard to get back up. Everybody'd have to come along to pull them up, but I'd like to get it big.
I can pull them back up though. By a chain around tie up in a tree or something. But you know, it's hard to get anybody over where I live to do anything now. Sure is.
Well, we keep our graveyard cleaned up right
They
now.
keep them mold and everything up there,
But now the tombstones,
they
I hate to
grow
hear
up,
tell
they
the
grow
side.
up bad now.
Well, you know that
I
Lester-
think they built that old slab. See, what they should have done was went and got another shim on one of the marble shims and put under it instead of putting that concrete slab in there. That concrete slab froze and gilled,
Mom's never had.
and on the sides it did, and then that big slab tilt, and then it froze and scooted off there. Is what happened. But there's a poplar standing there about like that stove. If I could get a chain around that first limb up there, and right close to the body of the tree, I probably could raise them back up with a come along
Yeah,
and
you
reset
could.
them back, you know, by myself.
I've not been to that
had
graveyard since Si was buried,
in.
but I'd like to go.
But that wouldn't be that bad a job, I don't think. And,
Well, now, Oscar Dixon,
they ain't no headstones, Jim Medcalf and them people back there. Markers. There's
Well, now-
little beady rocks about that square. Got
well,
markers,
now they
19
took
and-
the tombstones for Si's baby, and
Yeah, that was ranking.
and,
They,
and
you
you
know
know,
where they at? About that fence.
no, they not.
Well, they was.
Lester Crace and his boys put all them tombstones up.
They did? How did you get them up there?
They pulled them up for something, come-alongs or something, and they got them up there and put them up. Lester
Yeah,
come
he-
over here and told me, he said, now
I
down
don't
they
think
put
took them
up.
to that gate. I don't know who took them up there. I know nothing about Buford was the one telling me about it. And I went up there and I was there. They laid. They was laying right there. at that
Buford
gate.
didn't care for nothing.
And oh, they wasn't no way that I could get it up there. Well, they waited.
Well, now they
Keep
took
an eye
up,
on
they
it, please.
got them up there last year because Lester come over here and told me they got it fixed.
They must have built a sling or something and put them in it.
But I've not been.
But you know what they should have done is took them around. Took this part down to Connie's and took them up by the
Why
sardine
didn't they
field.
ever put you
And
they
bring
came
them
up on
around
up
the
that
top.
hill?
They could bring them around on a four-wheeler dead easy. Ride it right up into the grave. And I say if they took him up there, up that cat road there, it's that old gate place, that they'd had to him up there on a 4-wheeler.
They took them somewhere.
Now 4-wheeler would took him up there. Because mule, you know where that cross fence went,
Oh,
it
yeah.
washed out. It'd leave that stove, you couldn't get nothing up there. Walk, you know. I went up there and looked at it.
It don't look like the same place since
No, it's grown up. It's got pines in it now, they'll be this big.
Yeah, I
At
got
the
out.
ground.
I got out and looked up.
And they cut, Lester cut a lot of them pines and Paul jumped on him and made him quit. And him on his own property, I reckon.
Paul saw what make me quit nothing.
Well, you know, I mean, Lester probably just quit. You had trouble like that again, I don't know. But now, Paul's ain't the Paul's I want to know. You know, I mean, that woman it ain't either, don't get. But anyway, they're outlaws or something.
That's all they are.
And I didn't want to get in no trouble I couldn't get out of. So
You
I
forgive
was
Si's house and
It's the best thing
everything
going right,
up
but
there.
and
Said
he-
Paulus need the home. I said, what about you?
And now when he hit my old hand up there, you know, on the buster or bring down that brick, I just let it go because he's right in the yard and he said it was not after his cats on his porch. Now, Paul, are you sure that black dog was after your cats right across the porch? I said, well, that dog went across a many a porch for a day, but I never know to run cats. That's his word against mine and his wife and all that. Lester finally up and told me that he carried her down the road, heard the dog down the road, the box, and pitched her over the hill. But he had knocked her out with a big brick, I mean a fire brick.
Lester said if he ever hurt his dog, he wouldn't kill him.
Yeah, you will. You'll hurt it if he gets around these cats.
I think he's afraid of Lester.
No, he ain't afraid of nothing. I can tell you that. That man standing right in my face, me standing there with that shotgun in one hand, a pistol in the other. I don't think he was afraid of nothing. He's crazy like this. He don't have no sense to be afraid.
He ain't got no
You know? But he never backtalked me or anything like that. He said, no, it ain't your dog. That's what he told me. Man, Buell standing there right in the road. He said, no, it wasn't your dog. I explained to him my dog was a blue tick dog. I said, its head's coal black. Said there was an old black dog here, an old shaggy tail black dog. Well, when he said an old shaggy tail black dog, I thought it could be some kind of old German police or something.
Yeah.
Long hair on it. Well, that kind of, I said, well, that other dog may be out of here. We went out of there. We went down Hen's old place. In the mud there went a dog track up there, fresh.
Yeah.
Down come Doug. Well, I asked Doug, yeah, said I seen it. Said the blue tick? Yeah. He said, I seen it, said it's about to die. I said, why? He said, its head was bleeding, its nose was bleeding. I looked like its eyes was bleeding when I seen it. I said, well, woo-wee. Well, he said, it went right out through there. Well, we know him, Bill, took off out through there toward the, that old smokehouse was still standing out there.
It's still there.
And the dog come up out behind that smokehouse when we finally got it up on its feet. Like, nose was bleeding, its eye bleeding, big sink place, and its head looked like it down this far. With a brick. You can see all the red brick right in its eyes yet and everything, in that eye. You can see that little red ash and stuff come out of them bricks. Well, he had to hit that dog awful, awful hard. And Bill said, you reckon you ought to just kill her? I said, well, as soon as clean her eye out, you know, got her to the creek, I took a paper towel and I washed her eye out. I see it wasn't busted. I said, don't believe it's busted. It probably she'll lose it, but I don't believe it's busted out. But it was already beginning to puff, you know, around under it and everything. Well, I just loaded her up, took her to the house. And I took her down and had her, and they well, said, it might come back to her, and it might not. He said, it is not busted. But it never did come back to her. That eye never did get no better. She's still, that eye's still in there, way back in there.
Is she alive yet?
Yeah, right, yeah. She's so old, she can't get up.
Like Sandy?
Just walk around and eat, that's all she does. And getting too old to bark, really. And as long as she lives, I'll keep her. But she wouldn't hunt no more. I mean,
Oh, thank God.
done her in.
Paul was think got
Scared to death. He took her in the woods. He got well, he's still one-eyed. Got sounding well, I mean, for his going and everything. But she wouldn't hunt. You take her out and she stand and look at you like, well, you crazy, you got me out here. I don't want her. And I don't guess the dog didn't know where she
No,
was.
guess you didn't.
And but let me tell you something, she was a #1 coon hand when that dog man hit her with that rock, brick. The dog just like she'd hit her like she had never been hunted with in her life. Never been in the woods.
It destroyed her mind.
Scared. Stay behind you all the time. Way back behind you, too. Back far enough where she could get away. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, he's going to.
Never jump to another coon.
He's going to shoot the wrong man's dog one of these days, old them stump-tailed cat.
I walked her 4 hours last fall. She never offered to jump a coon. The coon tracks in the creek, the coons had the water muddy where they were catching frogs in spring. The dog never offered to even smell the ground. I took her back to the house. And I brought the other and I sold that. Wayne, he was there. Wayne don't hunt. But Freddie does. Wayne, my other son-in-law don't. I said, I'm on time my coon dog. And I'm going back up there and see if that was a coon the next week. Well, I turned the black dog loose. Gone, coon. Burn it up. Hold it. I said, well, the dog is quit. We live it. Don't get no raccoon was there. That's the way it was now.
Has Carn ever got that fence up the fence her little boy in yet?
Well, I got a strange call about that fence this morning before I left the house. I got an apple tree here running in I don't know apple tree there. I was supposed to go over there and cut an apple tree out for them or something tomorrow. Where they gonna put that fence up?
Yeah, she said that young's gonna get out and get killed.
Well, he gonna run into that road.
She said he'd run into the road.